Hello, fellow nerds, and welcome to Our Nerdiest Thing. Today we have a very special episode. We are live with our first author group interview. First, meet the moms. Liv, plus-sized, newly divorced, single mom of 3. Delia, a workaholic man-hater single mom of scheming twins. Shayla, widowed ball of nerves single mom. And Dylan, laid-back single mom who keeps everyone laughing.
I want to point out that the 4 authors are not these people.
Yeah.
Those are the book characters. None of them are, I mean, I don't know, maybe someone's a workaholic man-hater. I mean, I don't know.
They can tell us in a second. It was supposed to be the annual mom's getaway to relax, recharge, and have fun. No one wanted to admit their lives were falling apart until their plans of relaxing at the vineyard turned into a private island getaway with a cranky billionaire. A night with too much wine has the 4 best friends making a pact that will change their lives forever. Each mom's story unfolds in Mother Faker, Mother Maker, Mother Pucker, and Mother Hater, the Mom-Coms. We're joined by the authors of the Mom-Com books, Brittanee Nicole, Jenni Bara, Swati MH, and Daphne Elliot. Welcome to the podcast, everyone. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
So first, we would love for you all to tell us a little bit about the Mom-Coms, the books, how they weave together, just a little bit more about this project.
I think that this project came around as the result of friendship and a lot of lonely nights writing and messaging and texting each other and trying to find a way to integrate writing, which is by its nature like a pretty solitary, lonely slog some days, with these really fun and vibrant friendships that we have developed over the past few years. The 4 of us, have been on this author journey for almost the exact same amount of time. We're all moms. We all have other careers. And one of the things that we realized as we were doing this was how much fun it would be to do something together. And what would that even look like? And how would we put this together? And, how could we find a way to play to everyone's strengths while also being something that would be challenging? Because that's, one of the things as writers, we don't want to write the same thing over and over again. We want to try new things and things that excite us and characters and scenarios and funny. And so that's sort of how it came about, I think, in theory, but in practice, it was last April or last February, I got a drunken phone call from Jenni and Brittanee. We're in Florida together. It was Jenni's 20th birthday. It was like 11:30, and I'm sitting on my laptop, like down in my lair, because my kids are asleep typing, and they're like, Daphne, that was a great idea. And I'm like, is it the beach in the background? Just waves crashing. I'm like, I hate you, because I'm here in New England, and it's like snow and misery. And then we have this great idea. And I was like, okay. So that's pretty much how it started.
Jenni,
we were getting yelled at for being too loud that night.
We were. We did. We thought about it. We actually plotted it in January. Jenni and I, we plotted it in another trip because Jenni and I like to do these trips. We plotted this idea in January, but Daphne and I had plotted it like the year before. We had talked about like doing this falling down brownstone, and then I started just like spitballing, like, what if like there was more than just 2 moms in the house? And then Jenni and I, like, I don't know, we went on like a tangent. And basically we created who is Beckett Langfield,
and Dylan,
who kind of becomes the like background character that kind of weaves through the stories of causing mayhem in every single book. And then all of a sudden we were just all on a call in February. And we got Swati on the phone and we were like, hey, you want to do this silly, crazy project with us? And she was like, okay. And suddenly here we are.
So Jenni, I'm also the drunk friend that makes my friends do things. Like that's how this podcast came about. We were on a girls trip and we were drinking heavily and we were like, we should just like turn on the microphone and do this. Like,
doesn't everybody want to listen to us talking about this?
Like, I only have the ideas and Jenni normally pushes us to do it.
Yeah, there's always got to be a pusher in the group.
It'll be fun. It's so easy. There's no stress in this. It's going to be amazing.
Did you all know each other before you started writing?
No.
I love that.
Awesome.
I think the author community is really great about women upholding women.
But I will say that we all had read each other's work before we joined in this collaboration, and we loved each other's work.
Tell us a little bit about the mom aspect to this project, because it's obviously the mom comms. The main characters are all single moms. And I'm just curious why you all chose to have that be kind of the connecting thread through the main characters.
I think for us, one of the things that originally helped us conceive of this idea was that motherhood is inherently hilarious at times. And there are aspects of it that are just like, some days you just look at yourself and you're like, oh my God, like what did I just live through? At least that's my experience with motherhood. I mean, I don't want to generalize.
Daphne, my experience with motherhood is what the fuck is happening?
So when we set out to write this series,
mine is more shut the fuck up. But
it just felt very natural to make them like they're college best friends. They were all roommates in college. Their lives have gone in different directions, but they're all moms. And it also came about from this idea that like, oh my God, can we just like get together and collectively raise our kids? Because I'm so fucking tired doing it all alone. Mm-hmm. And I think that a lot of times in rom-coms, so much of the hilarity is, the heroines or the circumstances. And we just thought like, the kids can make this hilarious, as well as the setting, being in the city, being in this like crumbling old house, trying to patch it back together and make it livable. It's all kind of part of a way to bring together a story, 4 distinct stories about like friendship and then obviously romance.
Well, and also I think, there's also a certain kind of hero that fits into all of this, because I mean, it's that journey of each person meeting their hero and introducing them to this crazy family, and being like, well, you're a part of this now. And I think that also brought about like another layer of humor that, while talking about it, we came up with lots of ideas.
Character being with their friends, like everyone parents differently. And you get to see the worrier and the relaxed one and the one that wants everything to be perfect and the one just trying to get by. And like they get to learn and grow from each other. So that gave it a different aspect to the story too.
And I also think it's nice to see single moms, because so much of romance is focused on the single dad.
That's true.
And making the female character that is the mother, either she's dead or she's the villain. She's the mean ex-wife. Like, it was nice and refreshing and really hard to find single mom books where it's not focused on the single dad, because that is like so prevalent in the romance community. So that I think was also fun to represent through an entire series.
I've never thought about that, Brittanee, because you're right. Because if a dad is single, he's like a hero, right, for taking care of the kids. But if the moms are single, they're just doing what they're supposed to do as moms, right? And so I hadn't thought about how little fiction there is with single moms that are portrayed in a positive way.
Yeah, because it's sexy to be the single dad that's like caring and, he's singing his kid to sleep. How cute. He reads the kid a story. How cute. He changes the diaper. How cute. Like, that's our typical life as a mother. Mm-hmm. And we're just kind of expected to do it. Like, there's a joke in there where the women are like, where my character's like, I have to go home and babysit my kids. Like, my ex-husband is babysitting the kids this weekend. Apparently I have to go home and do that too. Like, women are always expected to kind of be on and do that. And men kind of get the pat on the back if they show up.
Right. Yeah, that's true. And can you tell us a little bit of how you guys decided what or which type of mom you were going to write about? Did that just kind of organically happen, or did you guys have to do a lot of discussion of like, okay, well, these are some characteristics I'm kind of leaning toward, and what about you? How did that kind of play out?
I got Dylan because so much of me is Dylan. So I think we got a little bit of that, but we also wanted to have 4 definite distinct characters. So we didn't want to write the same thing 4 times. So we had to pick the way we were going to go with each of that. So we definitely did that too.
And I think other part of it was we wanted to make sure that we showed that friendship between all of them. So those characters came in, those characteristics came in at that time too. Like, why do we like each other? Why were we friends? What were some of those things that made us bond? So those are things that we talked about. But we, in terms of tactical purposes, we had documents that said, hey, Shay looks like this, or Delia looks like this, and this is her career, and this is what she does. So we wanted to make sure that some of those things played into each one of our manuscripts.
You all did talk a little bit about, I know Brittanee and Jenni have done girls' trips. Have you all four ever done a girls' trip together?
Brittanee, Jenni, and I all live on the East Coast.
Okay.
So we've gotten together several times over the past couple of years, which has been awesome. And we had a little writers retreat last summer in Maine together where the three of us, our laptop with 6 bottles of Prosecco,
sounds about right,
and enough charcuterie to to feed 17 people. And so we, sadly the only time the four of us have truly been together is in South Carolina in October. We are planning more girl trips to come because it is necessary part of both the author and the mom journey is to get the hell out of Dodge and go to a new place and be with your friends. So
100%.
Well, and in all transparency, that trip was not a girls' trip. You guys were working your asses off on that trip.
It was a work trip.
Yeah.
It definitely
They
was.
always seem to be.
Right. We came back exhausted, and it was definitely a girls' trip for us.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, so going back a little bit to the writing process, how did you all strike a balance between collaborating together and weaving these all together and also maintaining your own writing process and voice?
I don't think it's easy, to be honest.
It doesn't sound easy.
It's not easy because you do have to, obviously the books are intermingled. So you need to make sure that, one goes into the next, and they make sense, and that the characters remain the same. So it does, it is a collaboration in that sense. But there is a point where so much of it is also you have to write the story. And I know that writers always say this, but the characters control the story. You kind of have some trouble controlling your characters and working within a project. If your characters are going a different way. So it's not the easiest thing to make sure that you're staying true to your writing, staying true to the collaboration, and just collaborating together, especially because all of us do live in different places and we're on different, writing schedules because, for me, I had a few books coming out this fall. Daphne had some books coming out. Swati had some books coming out. Jenni had some books coming out. So all of us were, working through that, which is always fun.
I was going to ask you all, were you all writing another book while you were writing? Were you writing a personal book?
We wrote them at different times. So my book's actually second, but it was the first one that was finished.
Okay, gotcha.
So then Brittanee had to go back. And then once her book was done, I had to go through mine and do those callbacks into it so that there were parts that, brought back to her book too. So she and I spent a lot of time on the phone with each other, plotting.
It sounds like a lot of communication.
Yeah, we were already done. So you have to move back into the world and then talk and plot and help and read and suggest so that it all goes together cohesively.
Well, and let's not forget the fact that it's not just 2 characters per book. It's not just the heroine. Now you've got children. So many different personalities. Time you weaved, if I ever weaved, any of the other children, I'd have to make sure that the authors, the other authors would agree that the voices sounded correct.
Now, working with narrators was a big part of this project, correct?
Yes.
Why was that important to you
it is.
As part of these books being released? What was the importance of that for you all?
I have been working for the past year or 2 years with Joe Arden on multiple projects.
Right.
So I had already cast Joe Arden and Maxine Mitchell as for Irish at the time. And so I was in talks with him and we were texting at the time. And I was like, oh my gosh, how amazing would it be if I got them to do this book too? And so we just I started, talking to them and they loved the idea of the project. So I said to the girls, because at the time, I don't think Daphne does have a book and audio, but at the time, outside of that, nobody else had done audio. So it was kind of like a new world. And I was like, let's try this. And we got on the phone with Blue Nose, and they were excellent to deal with. And they helped us cast everybody and set it all up so that it would release around the same time as our books. So it's very important. I love the audio community. I think that they're like in a completely different community than the reading community. And they're all done in duet narration. So there is no male talking as a female or a female talking as a male.
I love that.
I love it.
We appreciate that.
We're going to go into our nerdy and dirty speed round. So Jenni, you'll go first, and then Swati, you'll be up after Jenni. Brittanee, we're going to have you do a this or that steamy romance edition, and then Daphne will have you do romance tropes. Does that sound good?
Hey, sounds good.
Okay, perfect. And if anyone has a super strong opinion on any of these, even if it's not your turn, please just speak up. Jenni, are you ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, Jenni, you've not interviewed with us before, so it's the first thing that pops into your mind, okay?
Okay.
Okay, what kind of music does your main character in this book listen to?
Taylor Swift.
What is your go-to karaoke song?
Little Umbrellas, Sarah Darling.
Nice. What is the weirdest thing in your refrigerator?
My son's robot.
That's a great answer.
What celebrity crush do you have, Jenni, that other people just don't understand?
John Mulaney.
I mean, that's not a bad one, actually. Would you go on a UFO if you were invited?
Absolutely.
And what is a guilty pleasure that you have that you rarely share?
I share everything. I really share everything too much of the time. Maybe taking baths. I don't tell people I do that a lot.
You like to take baths? I don't think I've taken a bath in like 20 years, to be honest. Part of it, too, is an efficiency thing for me.
We don't even have a bathtub at our house.
Oh, that's true. You don't. Yeah. Okay, Swati, are you ready?
I'm ready.
What is one thing that people would never guess about you?
I am scared of the ocean.
Oh, wow. You live on the water, don't you?
No, well, I live near the water. I love the beach. I just don't like getting in the ocean.
I mean,
I'm the same way.
I don't mind my
thing.
feet getting wet, but it's just after a certain point, like up to my knees is probably as much as I can go, where I'm like,
I totally agree. I get it.
Are you a pool person, Swati?
Yes, I like the pool, but I love the beach. I just don't like the ocean.
I can understand that. What is your favorite word?
I love the word oblivion.
Oh, that's a great word. And do you prefer pizza or French fries?
Pizza every time.
So speaking of French fries, what's your favorite condiment?
Oh, okay. Well, I guess you could eat it with French fries. I love salsa.
Oh yeah, salsa is great. You know, one thing, the biggest thing on my own personal page that I got the most comments on 5 years ago was asking if butter is a condiment or not. So think on that. There were a lot of heated comments about that. So, okay. Swati,
yes, it could be.
I mean, yeah, I think it is, but my husband disagrees with me. Swati, do you prefer boy bands or metal bands?
Boy bands.
And what movie or TV show do you quote or reference the most often?
The Big Lebowski.
Oh, that's a good one. What's your favorite quote from that?
Oh my God. I have so many. I think it's just every single think of it, anything right this second, but it's like when he's bowling and he's like, don't mess with the Jesus. It's just every single thing.
It is
single thing about that.
It's so funny because out of everyone on this call, I would have never been like, someone on here loves the Big Lebowski.
I love the Big Lebowski. Yeah.
Okay, Brittanee, are you ready for the this or that steamy romance edition?
I am.
Okay. Second chance or dark romance?
Second chance.
Brother's best friend or best friend's dad?
If you change that to dad's best friend, I'm currently writing it. So there. But my favorite is Brother's Best Friend, my favorite 2 books I've ever written. So I don't know.
Okay, so dad's best friend, when is that book coming out? Do you know?
Not until June.
Okay. Not until June. Okay, perfect. Biker or billionaire?
Billionaire.
Writing a sex scene, do some research or use your imagination?
I mean, I use my imagination to do the research.
Good answer.
Do you prefer a third act breakup or a surprise pregnancy?
Probably I like drama, so give me the third act breakup.
And do you prefer a sex scene in an elevator or in a coat closet?
Definitely in an elevator.
Yep, living it up while you're going down, right?
Or going down while you're moving up.
Right. All right, Daphne, you're up. Are you ready for yay or nay romance tropes? Okay, perfect. Yeah. Fake dating.
Love it. Yay. Fake dating, fake marriage. Give me all of it.
Oh, me too. Yeah. Second chance romance.
I would say depends. I think that second chance romance, when they're like ex-spouses or there was some major drama, yes, give it to me. Just like, oh, we dated in high school, snooze.
Okay, what about an age gap romance?
Yes.
Holiday romance.
Love age gap. Love reverse age gap. Love all of it.
I was talking to my husband about this yesterday because I really hope this gets better, but I hate that in the book community we have to call it reverse harem or reverse age gap for people to know that it's like the woman, right? Yeah. So, but I feel like we're working on it.
I just want age gap to be age gap.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, what about an office romance?
Oh, yes. Office romance, hot. You've got elevators, you've got desks, you've got supply closets. A+, yes.
So really in the question that we gave Brittanee about elevator or coat closet, your answer is both.
I'm just all the above on top of a photocopier.
Oh. Like with her ass getting Xerox. Yeah. That's what I keep. That's like all the 80s movies did that, remember? Okay.
I just think, no, I mean like books. I'm not talking about real life. Real life offices are boring.
He's like, I work in my house. My office has my kids in it.
I mean office romances like books. Because here's the thing, right? I no longer work in an office. I work in my messy house in pajamas between driving my kids places. But for many, many years of my life, I worked in an office. And they were boring and soul-sucking and sad.
Yeah, none of the offices I ever worked in, none of the guys were hot. So
no, and they're
none of the guys I work with are into girls.
Were always nice. My offices were like depressing with like horrific fluorescent lighting, gross ass carpet. Yeah. It was awful.
Yeah, that's not sexy lighting at all.
Offices are gorgeous.
Okay, what about a holiday romance?
Yeah, I mean, not my fave, but can be really, really fun.
Okay, and this is a trope that Whitney has just decided to make up. She keeps putting it in her reviews, and I text her and I was like, when did this become a trope? And she said, when I made it one. So, yay or nay romance tropes. Sit on my face.
Oh, yay, all day long.
See? I'm not the only one.
I literally write that into every one of my books. See, I think we should just sit on my face as much as possible, because you know how like when you manifest to be something that is often that is just said all the time to all women everywhere. So yes, let's do it. We're gonna manifest. Sit on my face.
Yes.
Whitney is starting a new trope.
Whitney agrees.
I can't wait for my husband to listen to this and be like, yes.
Well, I have to tell the girls, so my husband is our editor and producer, and so every time I say something's hot, he'll just like start doing it. So we're doing Pucking Around with Emily Rath right now, and last episode I said, these guys, when they walk in and they want to have sex with this main character, they always like pull their shirt off one-handed, like by the back of their neck, and that is so hot. And so now every time my husband walks past me, he just takes off his shirt one-handed. So I've started the one-handed shirt off trope.
Yeah, there you go.
I mean,
he's like, I can do it too.
It does it for me until my son was like, look, I can do it one-handed. And I was like, oh, shit.
Oh, man.
I looked at my husband. I was like, we're done. It's ruined. Don't do it again.
Oh, that was super fun. So these books are being released soon, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Tell our listeners when each Mom-Com book is being released, or are they being released at the same time?
No, they are 1 week apart. The first one is Mother Faker, which is mine, and that comes out, Brittany's. That comes out
January 25th is Mother Maker, and then the third one, Mother Pucker, comes out February 1st, and then Mother Hater comes out February 8th. And then the audios release start 2 weeks later, February 20th, February 27th.
I'm a little turned on by your organizational skills right now. I'm not going to lie. Like, you just knew all of that.
I know.
So the 4 ebooks and paperbacks Yeah.
Jenni is always turning us all on. She's very good at that. She might be uncomfortable with that, with how often I call her. I know my husband is, but...
And Brittanee, will you say one more time the very first date when the first book comes out?
January 18th.
January 18th. Okay, perfect.
And remind me, Daphne, with the Hype Girls at Lit, you all were handing out a rom-com, but was it a mom-com? Was it a novella?
Yes. So Thank you for bringing that up. So we have a free prequel novella. And what we decided to do for this series was the four of us got together and we wrote a prequel novella. They're struggling, and so they all move in together. My character, Delia, has inherited this really large falling down brownstone in downtown Boston. And she's like, great, move into my giant house and we'll just like figure it out together. And so Brittanee's book starts where we are all living together in the house with our various children. And what the prequel does is the prequel gives you a little bit of background into our friendship and the circumstances that led each of the four women to this house and to this arrangement. And so right now, we have that as a free download. We handed out paperbacks at Lit. We're going to be handing out paperbacks of the prequel again at Readers Take Denver in April.
Awesome.
And when Brittanee's book publishes on January 18th, it will be included in her ebook, right, Britt?
Oh. Yes.
Yes.
Awesome.
And we'll be in the audio. It will be in audio in March as well.
Will all of you be at Readers Take Denver?
We will.
Oh, right. Okay. I'm going to be there actually with my design company instead of the podcast. So I'll see you all there.
Very exciting.
All four of us are going to be there with our narrators, and we're going to be mom-comming it up.
Okay. Nice. Jenni, you and I can be the drunk friends together.
I am so good at that job.
Same.
So I heard ebook and physical copies of these. Where can we buy those? Where can our listeners buy those books? Either format.
The physical copy of the prologue and paperback is on Amazon. If you want a physical copy of that, you can go and search. It's called Momcoms, and any of our names that comes up. The ebook for that, I know it's still in my link tree. I think it's probably in all of us. It's a free download, so you can get it from any of us. It's also, if you read Revenge Era, it's at the back of Revenge Era, Brittanee's new book that came out last month. You can get it that way too. But that is a free download, so you get to know the people. And then once the books go live, they will be available. The ebooks on Amazon, they are going to be in Kindle Unlimited. And the physical book, I know Brittanee's is going to be available in Barnes & Noble or Target or Walmart or any of those. I'm going to make her.
She's making me do it. I don't know how to do it.
She's coming to visit me next week. I'm going to make her do it. I know Daphne's are available everywhere too. She has them on Barnes & Noble and everything. Swati, do you have yours on?
No, not yet. No, but I plan to sometime this upcoming.
The other thing is the other thing to note is we are all KU authors, and so this entire series will be available ebook in KU.
Oh, wonderful. Yes. We're big fans of KU.
Yeah, we're all four of us are pretty hardcore KU girls, and so as a KU reader as well as author, like that's really important for us to continue to do, and so these will all be in KU as soon as they're released as well.
Great. So finally, are there any plans currently to expand this series, or do you have any other collaborations together, or is this like a one and done? You're like, this was too much work.
I think we all have spin-offs of this series, so you'll get to revisit all the characters.
I love that.
In our different spin-offs from this series, and we will see where the next year takes us because I'm not organized enough to say at this point.
That's awesome. So we always end our podcast episodes sharing our nerdiest thing of the week. It is our nerdiest thing. And normally they're book related, but they don't have to be. We would love to hear what your nerdiest things of the week have been this week, and book related, music, movies, just anything that you got really excited about and felt like you nerded out about.
My nerdiest thing, I don't know if this is nerdy, but I taught Jenni about the Fuller House, what I meant over and over again with Fuller House, with spice. Because I don't know if you realized, but obviously moving into a house with 4 women and your children would be like Fuller House. So I've been calling this Fuller House with Spice for over a year. Yes, there's a show called Full House, and then there's a show called Fuller House with the kids.
Fuller House.
I didn't know that. A year. But wait, I've been saying this for a year, and the other day, real conversation. I get here and I'm chatting with her, and I'm like, and I told the people that it's Fuller House with Spice, and she's like, I don't know why you keep telling people that. They might not understand that the house is just fuller, because not for nothing, there's men in the other house, and this is women. And I'm like, what are you talking about? She's like, I just don't know why you keep calling it that. Like, it's not Fuller House. Like, the house is more full. Like, there's more people.
I love that so much.
So, I mean, my nerdy is just constantly having to teach Jenni about pop culture.
That's hilarious.
Jenni, we all have certain personality types in this group, and they may or may not be closely mirrored by our characters in this series, by the way. Jenni is like one of the most magical, beautiful human beings I've ever met. And she is one of the people who's always telling the rest of us to calm down. And like, and she'll say things like, that's not today Jenni's problem. That's tomorrow Jenni's problem. And she's very much like, the universe will take care of it. Relax. I mean, the woman's got 4 kids. So she just, but Jenni does not know pop culture, and so we're constantly trying to catch her up, particularly on like the pop culture we all grew up with, like in the 90s.
Right. Right.
It's just not there. So
I love that. That's hilarious. I feel like that's Brittanee and Jenni's nerdiest thing of the week.
It was, right?
Yeah. I mean, I do have a robot that yells stop every time I open the fridge.
I was going to say, is that the one in the refrigerator?
My son has been sick, and I was like, no, we're not. I don't know. Do any of you know the Sprite winter? It's like winter mints or something, like winter spice or whatever. It's like a soda that only comes out in winter, and my kids all love it. So I buy them each a bottle, and like they each get the name on it, whatever. Well, my son has been sick, so I was like, we're not having soda while you're sick. So he put his robot in front of the Sprite bottle that was his, so it yells stop every time the fridge opens. So when you open my fridge, it yells stop at you.
Your son
is a genius.
Yes, he is. I would do the same exact thing.
He is
a
sick,
genius.
but he's the genius.
Oh, I hope he feels better.
Right.
That's great.
I also have a robot.
I mean, that's pretty nerdy. He was set up a spray in a robot to protect it for you.
That's pretty great. We're all in the right place, aren't we?
Yeah, we are.
God.
Daphne, what about you?
Well, today we were the recipients up here in Boston of about 8 inches of snow, so we were stuck in the house. So I spent many hours today building a Star Wars X-Wing fighter out of Legos for my 5-year-old son.
Holy shit, those are so hard to make.
I know.
And then watching more Star Wars movies and playing Star Wars.
That sounds like my house, Daphne.
Yeah, Legos are like, between Legos and Nerf darts, I don't know who here has boys, but I just feel like I can't see the floor some days.
Yes.
Funny story.
So
go ahead.
he was like trying to build it, and there were pieces everywhere. So I was like, he's like, Mommy, help me. I'm like, I guess this is what I'm going to do. And I am not a builder. I am not that person. I am not. Like, so it takes me probably twice as long as it should a child to build these things. So that is my nerdiest moment.
You will find those Nerf darts for the rest of your life. My son is 18 and hasn't played with a Nerf gun, and I can't tell you how long. We probably don't even have anymore. And our cat today finds a Nerf dart. We have no idea where it came from, and is like super excited about playing with it. So yeah, you'll find those for a while.
Daphne, did you see that they're coming out with the the Lego Twilight House?
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah, so they're developing it right now. They had like a competition, and it's narrowed down to like 2 people that designed the house for Lego.
I know what Whitney's getting for Christmas.
She's not getting that from us for Christmas. It's going to be like $400.
Well, I've seen like the Central Perk Friends Lego set. Like I've seen a lot of the, because like our family goes to Legoland. Like we're pretty hard into the Lego lifestyle over in my house. And I've seen some of the adult sets that are pretty epic. So I would imagine it would be awesome.
Yeah, hopefully. They've gotten me all excited about it. It'll be a big bummer if it's not awesome. Swati, did you have any nerdiest thing to share?
Oh, I have a book related one, and this is just, it's probably not going to translate to everybody, but so I'm vegetarian but my character is not vegetarian, but she loves to cook. And so I've been researching non-vegetarian recipes, which is like, I don't know, anything she can bake. So I was like, how do you cook, I don't know, chicken Parmesan, which is usually easy for most people. But to me, I'm like, I've never made it. And I've never eaten it. So just trying to look up different recipes.
Well, and I like as a vegetarian, I don't know how you feel about this because I love to eat meat, but cooking meat really grosses me out. So I'm interested to hear if like seeing these pictures of like raw meat and stuff in these videos is bothering you or not.
No, it doesn't bother me at all. I just don't know the process. So to me, it's just like a different world to kind of explore. Like, what are you doing? So yeah. And then I have to sort of translate that into, her cooking naturally and making it seem like it's, and I actually had to do that with my book with the Momcoms, Mother Pucker, because she's not vegetarian in that either. And so, she's all about her shakes and her smoothies, and they're disgusting. And she puts bone broth in them. And she makes all the kids and everybody in the house drink them. But it's just been fun to kind of look at recipes.
What's the nutritional value of putting bone broth in your smoothie since you've been researching this?
Well, apparently it has a lot of protein, a lot of iron. And it's just, with my character in Mother Pucker, Shayla is very just she wants something quick. She wants something fast. She's not a cook per se, but she wants all the nutritional value. And so she just like blends everything together and likes to just throw that at people and be like, here, drink this disgusting smoothie. And Delia, Daphne's character, named it swamp sludge. And so,
yeah, it sounds like it. That's disgusting.
It makes me want to have a nice big glass
of bone broth.
Well, thank you guys so much for being on here. This has been a lot of fun. We're excited that we were able to get kind of all in the same room and be able to talk about this book series with you guys. Thank you so much for coming on.
Yeah.
Yes.
Bye, guys.